Good afternoon, everyone. Today I will be teaching you how to butcher and viscerate a chicken. Okay, so before we butcher the chicken, we need to first gather the materials we need. First is a sharp knife, and we want a sharp knife so that the chicken doesn't suffer too much, and we will get a bowl. This is where we will drain the chicken's blood, and I actually have some water boiling which we will use later when we viscerate the chicken. We will use the boiling water so that we can remove the feathers of the chicken. Okay, so for the first part, we're gonna be cutting the throat of the chicken so that we could drain the blood from it. To do that, we're gonna slit the part of the throat here, right on the jugular, so that the blood would be drained. And this is actually the humane way to do it. Even though that the chicken would flap around a little, that's normal because that happens when the blood is draining from the chicken and the muscle contracts because of it. I won't show that part anymore, but I'm gonna do it now. Okay, so now for this part, like I was talking about earlier, I had some water boiling. Now we're gonna use that boiling water so that we can loosen the feather from the chicken. Okay, now that we've drained it for a bit, we're actually gonna pluck a few feathers to see if the feathers have already loosened. And I think this still needs a little bit more time because the feathers are not yet being pulled that easily. I'm gonna give it a bit more of a soak. Now, another thing to remember here is that before you do this part, you should be sure that the chicken is dead, because if you do this and the chicken is still a bit, it still has some life in it, it might flap around. Okay, now we are actually ready to remove the feathers. I've already checked and it's already coming off much more easier than it was earlier. Now, for those who might be wondering why the color of the chicken is actually brown, this is actually native chicken. This is not the one you would get from the poultry, which has white feathers. Okay, now the chicken has lost most of its feathers, but now I will be going back to the kitchen and I will actually be finishing on it. I will be removing the feathers that are left, and I'm actually gonna show you what's next, and that's how to cut up this chicken and how to remove the innards. Here's the chicken. Next part is we're actually gonna be working here on the neck area. I'm gonna cut some of the skin here, and what we're actually trying to do here is to find the two tubes, which is the trachea, and we can actually get the neck of the chicken, and we can sort of de-skin it. Now the next part of this is to actually remove the innards, and what I've already done is I've already made a slit down here so that I can remove the innards easily, but I will be cutting the skin for the thighs now so that I will be able to get through the innards with more ease. Now what we're actually gonna do here is I'm gonna put my hand in and I'm gonna slowly remove the innards. For this part where I'm actually gonna remove the innards, you are gonna put your hands inside, and what you're actually gonna do is try to scoop out the innards. Now here is the innard part, and for the innards, we're actually gonna save a few pieces. I'm gonna put the carcass aside first. Now there are a few parts that we actually would want from this, and first is the liver. Now here is the parts that we would want to use. Okay, now for this part, I'm gonna actually go and cut the chicken in half here, so that I can get the thigh part, and here for the upper part, which contains the breast and the two wings. Okay, like I said earlier, now I'm gonna be cutting this part so that I can get the thigh and the wing. Start working on the upper part of the chicken. Okay, for this part, I'm gonna be separating this part of the breast here with the back of the chicken. I'm gonna start by cutting here. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the 8 beautiful pieces of chicken that we've cut here today. Two pieces of wings, 2 pieces of thighs, 2 pieces of legs, and here's the back part of the chicken, and this is the breast part. Now you can cut a chicken however you like, depending on the way you want to cook it. But this is the main parts of the chicken that I've cut. Thank you.